Henry Cavill just revealed his most vulnerable moment yet. After news broke that the Highlander reboot was suddenly delayed, fans were left guessing. But instead of a polished press statement, Cavill chose to break his silence with something no one expected: a haunting poem, a photo of his injured leg, and a message that felt less like Hollywood PR and more like a warrior's cry from the battlefield. The rumors first surfaced on September 11th, when outlets reported that Henry Cavill had suffered a leg injury during training for Highlander. At first, no one knew how serious it was. The reports were vague, simply noting that the injury was enough to stall pre-production. Days of speculation followed, but Cavill himself remained silent. That changed on September 19th, when he finally gave fans a glimpse into what really happened. In a pair of Instagram photos, he showed two sides of his world, one with his loyal dog Baggins at his side, and another of his left leg wrapped tightly, propped up, and elevated. The caption? Not a medical update, not a studio statement, but the full text of the 19th century poem Invictus. It was a dramatic, almost cinematic way to confirm the injury, and it instantly set the internet buzzing. Why Invictus? That's what had everyone talking. Written by William Ernest Henley after losing his own leg to disease at the age of 12, the poem is a declaration of resilience, a refusal to bow no matter the suffering. Its famous closing lines, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul," have inspired soldiers, leaders, and now, apparently, Henry Cavill himself. By choosing those words instead of a plain statement, Cavill framed his injury not as a setback, but as part of a larger fight. Fans immediately picked up on the symbolism, an immortal warrior in Highlander quoting a poem about conquering pain. For many, it felt like Cavill was sending a coded message that he's down but far from defeated. But behind the poetic post lies a costly reality. According to Deadline, Cavill's injury has forced production on Highlander to be pushed back, likely until early 2026. For Amazon MGM Studios, that's a huge setback. This isn't just any project, it's a big-budget reboot meant to revive a cult classic and possibly launch a new franchise. With a cast stacked with names like Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Digimon Hansu, and Marissa Abela, every delay means millions lost in scheduling, contracts, and marketing. And with John Wick mastermind Chad Stahelski directing, expectations couldn't be higher. So while Cavill heals, the entire production machine has to sit idle, waiting for its leading man to return. The irony? A movie about immortals is suddenly at the mercy of one very human injury. Henry Cavill has built his entire reputation on being the ultimate physical actor, the guy who doesn't just play superheroes and warriors, but trains like one. From the grueling workouts for Man of Steel to the sword choreography in The Witcher, fans know him as someone who pushes his body to the limit for every role. At CinemaCon in 2024, he even teased that his sword work in Highlander would outshine anything audiences had seen from him before. That promise hits differently now. The very training that was meant to elevate his performance ended up sidelining him before cameras even started rolling. It's a cruel irony. The actor famous for his warrior discipline was suddenly reminded that even steel can bend, and even Superman can fall. Fans didn't waste a second flooding his Instagram with messages of support, but not everyone was convinced this was just a minor setback. Some began to speculate that the injury might be more serious than reported. Why else would Cavill avoid giving any real details? Others suggested that posting a poem instead of a straightforward update was his way of keeping things mysterious or even protecting confidential production information. Online chatter has also pointed out that insurance policies and studio contracts often limit what actors can reveal about on-set injuries. Whether it was intentional or not, Cavill's silence on the specifics only fueled the fire. And the more fans were left guessing, the more the theories multiplied. And that uncertainty lands right in the middle of one of the busiest stretches of Cavill's career. In 2024 alone, he headlined Argylle, took the lead in Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and even popped up in Deadpool and Wolverine as a surprise alternate version of Logan. On top of that, he's already lined up another Guy Ritchie project, In the Grey. Highlander was supposed to be his next crown jewel, the franchise that could define his post-Superman era. Now, with the delay, the momentum he's been building suddenly feels fragile. Hollywood doesn't wait long, and every month on the sidelines raises the question, will Cavill return stronger than ever, or risk losing his hard-fought place at the top? The weight of this setback feels even heavier when you remember what Highlander means to fans. The 1986 original became a cult classic, spawning sequels and a long-running TV series that turned the phrase, "there can be only one," into pop culture legend. Cavill had promised a reboot that would go deeper into the mythology and the characters, teasing audiences with the kind of gritty, emotionally charged storytelling that could revive the entire franchise. That's why his injury feels so eerily poetic. Here's an actor chosen to play an immortal warrior, suddenly forced to face his own vulnerability. For longtime fans, it almost blurs the line between fiction and reality, and makes his eventual comeback even more anticipated. So where does this leave things now? Officially, filming is on hold until early 2026, giving Cavill time to heal. But the bigger picture is still uncertain. Will he bounce back in full warrior form, or will this injury linger longer than expected? Cavill's choice to post Invictus suggests he's framing this moment as part of his personal battle, a challenge to rise above pain and pressure. For the studio, the delay could either build anticipation or risk losing momentum in a crowded blockbuster market. For Cavill himself, the recovery isn't just physical, it's symbolic. This injury could become the foundation of a powerful comeback story, or a reminder that even the strongest heroes aren't invincible. Henry Cavill may be down, but he's clearly not out. By quoting Invictus, he turned what could have been a routine injury update into something bigger, a statement about resilience, fate, and fighting back. Yet the question still lingers. Can he conquer Hollywood's relentless timelines as easily as he conquers roles on screen? Fans are already debating whether Highlander will emerge as his ultimate triumph or stumble under the weight of delays. What do you think? Is this setback just a bump on Cavill's path to another iconic franchise? Or is the reboot already cursed before the cameras even roll? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe because this story is far from over.